What's up, guys? Welcome to Craig Crypto. In this video, I'm going to show you one major indicator, weekly indicator, that has basically shown kind of where we're headed. I'm going to get into the history of when it's happened before. It's only happened a few times, and we're going to look at what that can mean for the Bitcoin price and the whole cryptocurrency market. If you like my videos, please subscribe to the channel and smash up that like button so we can get these videos to the top for the YouTube algorithm. Right here, I'm going to jump in, search Bitcoin. We're going to do the index chart because this is the all-time history for Bitcoin. We're going to jump into that. And you're going to want to change your price chart on the side to logarithmic scale so we can see the scale better from cycle to cycle each 4 years. So right here, let's go into the EMA ribbon on the weekly, guys. And as you can see, I have a different EMA ribbon indicator that actually is green and red and says short and long, or basically that's where it flips, just a little bit different than the regular one on TradingView, but you can easily see that here. You can probably see it better with the colors. And you might wonder what this red line is here. That's actually the 200 EMA, and typically we go down around there and we bounce off of it for the bottom for each Bitcoin 4-year cycle. And if you're not familiar with the Bitcoin 4-year cycles, it's based off the supply halving of Bitcoin. The supply release gets cut in half. Do a quick Google search on that to get familiar with that, because that basically pumps the whole cryptocurrency market in Bitcoin. And the 200's down here at about 26, 27,000. So that's kind of what I think is going to be the bottom, about 28. A lot of people are calling for 20, because that was about the high of the last 4-year cycle. And typically, we do see the next cycle kind of going down to the previous high. That'll be the new low for the next cycle. But there's so much buying power around 28,000 from these giant companies that I think it's just going to get bought up so fast around this zone. But I do think it's going to stay there, around there, for quite a while, maybe even into this fall before we actually see a true bottom and see a reversal. I mean, it could. There's some indicators that say it's only going to last a month, maybe it's going to last 6 months to a year, the bear market, but we're in full bear market mode, and that is based on this major indicator, the weekly EMA ribbon, flipping bearish right here. We had it flip last week, and then we just printed a new weekly candle here. And guys, we're not going to just blast back above this. We are in the bear market. If you don't think so, you're in denial. And I'm going to tell you what this means, basically the EMA ribbon flipping. So you can see it flipped here, and you can see before that we've held it all throughout this previous 4-year cycle until right here. So the last time it flipped bearish, right around here, we saw about a, down to the wick, 52% dump. And this one was back in 2020. So it was already in like the current 4-year cycle. So we just saw a quick, just like down and up, just a quick dump and a quick pump. It was just 1, 2, 3, like 3-4 weeks, like a month here. But that's because it was in, an uptrend. It was the beginning of the cycle here. But I just want to convey the message to you guys that there is about a 50%, 53%, 52% dump when we saw the last EMA ribbon flipping on the weekly. Let's go back to here. This was the end of the 17, 18 cycle. And right when we saw the EMA ribbon flip bearish, guys, right, I guess you measure it anywhere around this zone right here. Look at that, 53% drop once again. So we went from around the $6,000 range down to the $3,000 range, 53% dump. So that's the second, time previously that the weekly EMA has flipped. Let's go back here. And obviously this works the same way when it flips bullish, guys. We see major pumps, and We can get into that later, but I don't think we're going to be that hopeful right now because we're in the bear market. Let's go back to here. This is the cycle of 13 into 14, the end of the cycle. The EMA on the weekly flips, we can measure it from, it did have a candle up to here, just somewhere around there down to the wick. You could even, that's about 63%. You can even just measure it around the short here to the lowest weekly wick, 55%. So obviously you can kind of see a pattern here, guys, happen with the history in the Bitcoin chart, the index chart, all-time history of Bitcoin. So you see that again. And as we keep going back, I think that's about it. Now we're getting back into when Bitcoin first came out, and there's not much history. So this would be the first time, they started measuring this and all that. So based on the history, guys, we have 1, 2, 3. This was kind of a weird one where it was already going up, but we did have a 50% dump here, guys. And this is the middle. We're at the end. So, we're going to see something like this one or this one. But we have 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4th time this has happened in the history of Bitcoin. And also, like I mentioned before, we usually come down, right around the 200. I guess we've gone below it for these previous ones. There was the first cycle here. We just touched it here. We'd have 1 week where we wicked below, but the body of the candles were closing above here in the 14-15 cycle. Right here, we went below it, 4,000. We went all the way down to 1,000 below, and it was resistance. We were trying to break above it, So a good time, to get in is right when we break back above the 200. Because that's just bam, bam, bam. You can see that there. Same thing with back here. As soon as I guess it doesn't. There's not much history back there, guys. So you're gonna have to just. There's not a lot of history on this stuff, but that's all we have to go off of. We can't go back 20, 30, 40 years, 100 years like the stock market, whatever. So this is all we can go off, guys. And I'm just trying to get the message across that we're probably 70, 80% likely going to see, a pretty big dump. And if we could measure that, that 50%, like those 3 or 4, since right when it flipped, you can measure it like right in here. If we do see a 50% dump, let's see, that puts us down at about 20,000. That's so interesting, 22,000. Well, if we went down about a 60% dump, or sorry guys, I'm just looking at the negative price here. So let's see here, 43.52 would put us about 19,000. So 20,000 would be right here at a 52% decrease right when the weekly EMA flips here. So let me bring that back here. And that, like I said, that puts us at about like 20,000. So that's very interesting because, like I said, the previous high, and we can go back here and take a look at it. Let me just delete this. So the previous cycle's high, we're going to go all the way back to here. Whoops, that was the first one there. Right here, 19.4. I guess we hit about 19.7. So that'd be very interesting if we came down just below the 200, here to about 20,000. That would be kind of where we guess it's going to go if we're basing this off the short history of Bitcoin. But I hope you guys kind of learned something from this video just based on the history of the weekly EMA ribbon, because it's very interesting. And it kind of just signifies that we're in the bear market. And another major indicator I go off of are the bull market support bands on the weekly. Typically, when we go below them, that's when the bear market starts. And you can see here all the way down, back here from 2017. When you go above them, right here, blast above it and you hold it, that's when the bull market starts. So we're obviously below that. We went down, kind of went back up, had a double top here, and we're back, slightly went above. They crossed back down below them again. So I think this was just kind of the price rolling over like this. That's all that is. And we're going to see the price, keep going down around whatever, $20,000, $28,000 range. And then as soon as we get back above the bull market support bands, the bull run is back on, and I would start buying in, dollar cost averaging in around where you think the bottom is, and then when the EMA weekly flips to the upside again, that's another good indicator. And let's take a look at the weekly Bollinger Bands, because typically 90% of the time the action is in between these two. And we're seeing it hit the bottom here. So, I mean, we might see something like that, 26, 28,000, because it really in the history of Bitcoin has like hardly ever, I don't know what happened there, geez. We did see it, go about, let's see, 4 to 6, couple thousand below there. Typically they stay within that range. So, I mean, it's going to play out kind of slow, a slow grind to the downside, guys. But there's always hope, because if you're watching this video, you should be able to time it kind of within a month or two of the bottom. You should be able to buy in quite a bit and at least, 10x your money, something like that. If you're really good, 15, 20x your money, even 5x is great for some people. And I guess that's all I got for you guys today in this video about the weekly EMA ribbon. If you like these videos, please subscribe to my channel and smash up that like button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.